Crossroads Motel, can I help you? When I look at you, it makes me want to puke! No, you're not gonna buy her!
I want to see Meg. I must talk to her.
You might be wise as a waste bitch.
I don't know what I've got to be proud about.
Very cosy.
Daft about both of you. Anyone can see that. Parallel.
With me now is a producer who lives, breathes and bleeds Punjabi music. Known for his hard-hitting and often controversial outlook on the Bhangra music industry, there aren't many people who say it like Ranjit Jassal, aka Desi Darkchild.
How you doing?
Good to meet you. I'm good, thanks. How are you?
Yeah, nice. Everything's good.
You're passionate about music, aren't you?
Oh, I love music.
Where did it start for you?
It started when I was a child, really, from my uncle, watching him playing on a beer can. You know, like we got these drummers now on YouTube and Facebook. We see all these drummers playing on these bins. It was that kind of vibe for me as well. And it's great to see that again because it brings back memories for me about when my music started, yeah.
That's the thing with you. You're not only a producer, but you actually play a lot of instruments, don't you?
Yeah, with God's grace, you know. I have studied music. I passed with A-star in drums. Wow. Yeah, drums was my first instrument in school. I actually converted the bongos to make it sound like a dolgi because I couldn't just get used to hitting the dolgi on the side, so I used to play it like that, like a tabla. Yeah, I had some fun.
Play the tumbi as well, don't you? You brought that in with you. So.
Yeah, you know, recently I've had this urge to get on the tumbi as well. I'm not an expert on it, but I like to have a little play on it. And I had the best guy in Batinda make me a tumbi. Right. Bappu, his name is. He's even made a tumbiya for like the likes of Ustad Chamkilla Saab, and he's well known for his tumbi in India. Yeah.
So your name's Desi Darkchild. Your studio name is Coffin Studios.
Yeah.
Is that where you produce your deadly sounds in?
That's where the deadly sounds come from. Yeah. I think every studio has its unique sound, but I wanted to create something in the Bhangra industry where I wanted to create my own sound. Sound is very important. Yeah. It's like your logo for who you are as a producer, and that was important.
Speaking of logos, on a serious note, why such a sinister outlook though? Deadly, you know, these kind of dark images?
I think Desi Darkchild, I've always said it's about my roots. My roots haven't been like, you know, sunshine, you know. Yeah. I've always learnt the hard way. To be honest, that's just the way it's been for me. I don't know, maybe I was born on the wrong day, you know, when it was raining. I don't know, but I've always learned the hard way.
As a music producer then, how would you describe your sound?
I think my sound is raw folk, not folk. I use the word raw because there's been occasions where I've made a track and I've left it unmixed and I've just exported it out, stuck a master on it, and I like it. I think sometimes when I use the word raw, when you've actually made a track, like your dolki, your percussion, I think if you could get the right sound, the acoustics through your speakers as you've recorded, I think that's a big achievement.
Looking at music, I mean, you live, you breathe music. Music is very dependent upon emotion. If you're sad, you'll be listening to certain sad songs. If you're happy, you'll be listening to upbeat music. I mean, a few years ago, it was a very sad time for you with the loss of your father. Yeah. How did that affect you in terms of your music?
It's affected me quite badly, to be honest. Like I said before, it's about guidance, isn't it? It's about feelings. With having passion from your parents, that they want you to be passionate about everything you do in life and they give you that passion. I found that losing my dad made me change the way I started thinking of music. I started doing a lot of sad songs. I actually wrote a couple of sad songs, and my whole concept about music became more serious.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, looking at the industry at the moment, a lot of people look up to the artists as role models, no doubt.
Yeah.
Do you think that's being conveyed in the industry today?
I think nobody should look up to nobody, really. if anything, you should look at yourself in the mirror. And I don't believe that people should be looking at other artists and looking at the way their demeanour or how they've come across in the industry. There's a lot of a hindrance in the industry by the artists that are already out there. So other people don't get their place in success, and they hinder that sort of process. Also, I believe, like, you know, a lot of the big artists, there's a lot of crime involved nowadays behind a lot of these artists. And I said in a previous show that, you know, eventually everything's going to get revealed, and we're seeing that today. I'm quite proud that I'm not involved in none of that, to be honest. I've done legitimate work. I don't look up to anyone. I respect everyone. People that need respecting and doing music the right way.
Excellent. Artists often, you look at artists in the industry, but as a producer, how important is it to stay current with the music trends? Are you that kind of person that you stay current, or do you stick to what your sound is?
I hate pop music. I've never been a fan of pop music. I idolise people like Amy Winehouse, James Brown. You know, I listen to a lot of jazz, I listen to a lot of funk. And I believe, like, when we play the dolky to like funky kind of sound, because Bhangra is a bit funky as well, I believe, like, we're creating something different, but also when you start idolising people, it is different, you know what I mean? And I feel like that music is something that's got to come from within inside you, really.
Excellent. Looking at the industry today, it's changed over the years. I mean, back in the day, you'd be able to buy CDs, cassettes, but nowadays everything's online. You can literally download something illegally. What are your views on illegal downloads?
It's causing a lot of financial problems to people like myself when people are downloading illegally. I think the best way of doing this is going to be, if you're going to put something out free, then make sure, like, if I was to put out a track with my singers or whatever, and it's going to be free, I'd make sure it's coming from me and not from some pirate website or something like that, you know. I believe that iTunes is very restricted with a lot of things. I think they need to open more avenues, more doors need to be open for wider audience of music, because I still think there's not enough audience. And I think for people in India, iTunes is available, but they can't afford it.
Yeah,
so.
That's the thing. I mean, I was looking at it myself. As a producer, as well as an audience, if you're just starting out, you've got to buy a Mac, which is $2,000. You've got to buy a mic, you've got to buy a sound card. It's a lot of money, isn't it? And then you've got to get the audio loops. What would you say to people who have to resort to downloading software illegally in order to make music?
I mean, okay, you know, I done it when I first started, so I'm not going to sit here and be a hypocrite by saying I've never done it. I done it. I think a lot of producers would agree that they still do it now. You know, getting crack software, getting, that's the street slang, crack software, you know, getting plugins and whatever. You know, there's been occasions where I can't afford a plugin, it's like $1,000 for Native Instruments.
Of course, yeah.
And then I can find a crack that works for me, and I only need a certain piece playing from that.
Yeah.
You know, like Alicia Keys, you know, Native Instruments, very expensive.
Yeah.
But then you want to play something different and you want to create that sound, and you just resort to that. I think people that can't afford it will resort to that,
of course,
if it's available. But if you can afford it and there is money coming in, again, with the iTunes, and you're getting good sales, you can make a living out of it, then why have that?
Just build yourself
Build
up
yourself a decent, you know, catalogue of having the right software, so you ain't using crack software. I think, you know, there is room for maneuver, movement if there's an income coming from music. But as it stands, it is quite difficult for the newcomers. I personally recommend that don't use crack, because I know what problems it causes. I've had a whole song crash out on me.
Of course, yeah, and
you know,
that's another thing,
when
isn't
I've
it?
made it and it come out really good.
Yeah.
So it can be disappointing as well. To avoid the disappointing areas and not touch on them, it's best to get the original.
Okay, let's talk about 2015. What are you working on? Because I know it's a big year for you, isn't it?
2015, since my father passed away, I've kept sort of like my head down in the studio, and music has been something that's kept me alive and kept me thinking positive. Like they say, there's always a period of healing. I'm in that healing process right now, and every track I'm doing on this album, I will sort of talk about the album as well, because it is called Reggae Feast, and this is the first time I've ever...
Reggae Feast.
Yeah, the album is all reggae, bhangra.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, it's top to bottom reggae. It's got a lot of soul in there, in the actual music, and I feel happy mentioning it because it's got a very summer kind of vibe to it. It's got a very sort of happy, emotional vibe to it. I wouldn't say there's tracks on there that a normal person would want to listen to.
Right.
There's different areas of things I'm attaching to in the album. So really, I'm quite down with my album, and it's like got some big singers on there again. I'm feeling very pleased with the outcome, and I thank God for letting me do it.
When you're looking to release mid 2015?
I'm looking at July, sort of like, I want to
summertime.
sort of hit July, summer, you know, when we're like, everyone's thinking about the summer holidays.
Yeah.
I don't want to put this album out. A lot of record labels talk about, like, you know, Eid is coming, and, you know, we got all our Asian festivals where we got the summer holidays, students are going away from university. I think music will sell regardless if it's good music.
Yeah. Is reggae something that you've worked on before, or is this something new for you?
I've studied reggae.
Okay.
I've actually studied reggae.
So you've got the influences of reggae in
Yeah, I actually played with the Phase One Steel Band, and I loved when I was with school. I still chat to one of my friends on Facebook, Michael. He used to play the drums, and I used to sit there with all the congos and the percussion chimes and timbales and everything. And I just got myself involved, to be honest, for the sake of it. And when we used to play sort of like some of the blues and some of the jazz and some of the reggae,
wow.
it was a nice little collaboration, and I used to get that on the donkey, put a little bit of tabla sound in, but the donkey used to work nice, and that's what I've taken away from.
So you're fusing stuff
Yeah,
together.
fusing it, and that's what sort of my album's about.
Okay, you brought your tumbi in with you today, haven't you?
Yeah, I've actually got a tumbi as well.
That's not a tumbi, that's just a prop.
Is it a prop?
It's probably got a guitar string on it, right?
Okay, well, it looks nice anyway.
Why don't you show me a few riffs on this tumbi that you've got?
Yeah, yeah, no problem. I'll play this tumbi. This tumbi's a unique tumbi, you know.
In what way?
The sound,
Okay.
especially hand carved, it's got Batinda, the main shade, Batinda Lakkar. Lakkar is known, the wood is made in Batinda, and it's the best.
Right.
And this kaddu is like been sat in the sun for like...
This kaddu.
Is called a kaddu, yeah. And this kaddu's been sat in the sun for probably a couple of years.
Right.
For maturing it, and then it's been skinned, and
So it's actually, it's actually referred to as a kaddu, is it?
yeah, it is a kaddu, yeah.
Right.
You know what
Sorry,
kaddu
pumpkin,
is,
yeah.
yeah, pumpkin, yeah. So that's a kaddu, right? And yeah, I know what you like.
I didn't know.
My dad used to call me a kaddu back in the days, but I wasn't matured that long in the sun. But this is matured in the sun, and it's a very, very nice instrument. The instrument, because of Punjabi MC, he made this instrument go mainstream, which is really good. KS Pomra played the
I remember on
tumbi.
Top of the Pops, I remember that.
Yeah, and this instrument has gone mainstream. And looking at your tumbi, I mean, that tumbi is a bazaar tumbi.
Right.
It's you can buy from a local shop.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to disrespect the tumbi. It's a substandard tumbi, yeah, which you could give to a child and say play. And if they broke it, you wouldn't really matter, because 800 rupees, you'll pick up another one.
Okay.
This one is like nearly £80.
God, show me what it can do then.
Yeah, so I'll just play you something I've just made up. I'm not gonna.
Okay, no worries. Excellent. And that is probably an integral part of the Punjabi culture in terms of music, isn't it?
Of course it is. I think tumbi's been an instrument that back here in the UK in the mid-90s, it came back in. In the early 80s from Punjab, it was already existing in the industry. I've cut my nails, so I couldn't really play that well. But I'm just learning anyway.
And as you said before, I mean, he went mainstream when Punjabi MC, he featured it on one of his mainstream songs, the Night Rider tune, wasn't it?
I think I'm going to try and play that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Similar, but slightly a few notes are different. But you know, with this instrument, you could do so many things with it. I believe there's a rule in the in any industry, and that's the 12 keys.
Yep.
And you know, any newcomer needs to understand the main 12 keys of a keyboard. Because if you're not understanding the 12 keys of a keyboard, then you've got no success in playing any kind of instrument in regards to especially
that's the core, isn't it? The notes, yeah.
Especially instruments that are going to be like your piece fillers and you're going to play a piece on and stuff, you know. You've got to know the rules of the 12 keys.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say what they are, but...
That's fine, they can look it up.
They can look it up.
Desi Darkchild, thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you for having us.
All the best for the future and God bless.
Thank you.
Thanks for watching Music Box today. My thanks to Simon Undra, Raj Jassal and of course Sean Griffiths. Guys, not only can you get information from our website, DANNYDCS.com, but why not look me up on Facebook, where you'll be able to get information about forthcoming interviews and other music related material. Okay, seeing as that is Navin Kundra singing Jind. You've been watching Danny DCS here on Music Box. See you next time.
दी तू जिंद विच आई सोनिए दूर हुई सारी तन्हाई सोनिए ओ जद दी तू जिंद विच आई सोनिए दूर हुई सारी तन्हाई सोनिए रब ने जद दी मिलाई रब ने जद दी मिलाई सैना होवे होर जुदाई सैना होवे होर जुदाई ओ ओ ओ जद दी तू जिंद विच आई सोनी दूर हुई सारी तन्हाई सोनिए सब कुछ मेरे कोल सी हुण समझ आई तेरी किन्नी लोड़ नी ओ पहला मैनू लगे सब कुछ मेरे कोल सी हुण समझ आई तेरी किन्नी लोड़ नी तेरे पीछे बन जाऊं सोनिए तेरे पीछे बन जाऊं मैं शुदाई सोनिए जद दी तू जिंद विच आई सोनिए दूर हुई सारी तन्हाई सोनिए चंद दे टुकड़े दा की जिक्र करा तेरे मुखड़े दा प्यारे जे चंद दे टुकड़े दा तू है मेरा प्यार तू है मेरी जान तेरे लिए धड़के ये दिल तुझसे जिंदगी है मेरी आई सोनिए दूर हुई सारी तन्हाई सोनिए ओ जद दी तू जिंद विच आई सोनिए दूर हुई सारी तन्हाई सोनिए रब ने जद दी मिलाई रब ने
new Magnum Pink Raspberry and new Magnum Black Espresso. Different ice creams for different moments.
Something extraordinary is happening on the butter shelf. Find one of 6 packs of gold from Flora. Worth their weight in gold. Whether it's crunching car insurance or hunting home insurance.
Right, let's have it.
There's a team who every day bust a gut to save you money, and they're just one click away. Go compare that.
I hurt my back a while ago, and I've tried different things, painkillers to try and get rid of it, but they're really not for me. My wife found Actipatch online and sent off for a sample, and I immediately tried it, and after a couple of hours I felt the benefit from it. I'm surprised how much Actipatch really helped me get through the day.
Actipatch drug-free pain relief. The only thing you're going to feel is better. Back pain, knee pain and muscle pain really can make life miserable. The Actipatch drug-free pain relief device uses miniaturized clinical technology to relieve pain without medication, indigestion, tingling or drowsiness. Actipatch gives up to 720 hours of relief and is so non-intrusive. The only thing you're going to feel is better. Don't suffer with your pain. Go to tryactipatch.co.uk to find out more and get a 1-week trial sample. Fight your pain with Actipatch, drug-free pain relief.
Specially selected vegetables and richly spiced sauces with fluffy steamed rice. That's my delicious Uncle Ben's rice time. Begin with Ben.
If you fall ill abroad, we'll help find a doctor who speaks your language. Just part of the Kiss and Make Better service we deliver daily. American Express.
Years ago, the Twix founders had a falling out, so production was divided between 2 factories which each took a very different approach. Left Twix lavished caramel on biscuit, while Right Twix topped biscuits with caramel. Left Twix then covered it in chocolate, while Right Twix smothered it in chocolate. Today, they only share a wrapper and a driveway. Twix, try both and pick a side.
People love Hellmann's. Keith told us it's one of the greatest things ever created. So does that make Hellmann's greater than the light bulb? Or roller coaster faces? Can Hellmann's be greater even than the internet? Well, Keith, if you say so. Hellmann's is the greatest thing ever created, apparently.
So, I've got a bit of a controversial topic for you guys. Quick fire.
Good 2 weeks.
Who poisoned this dog?
Only 30 million. Oh, hit my armpit, guys.